The main point of this presentation is that the landscape for student information systems, data and analysis systems or DnA systems, as well as learning management systems and related solutions is changing. As the digitalization of education evolves, we need new strategies for evaluating the implications of long static K-12 platforms and for aligning our systems with our district's current and future priorities. Student information systems, or SISs, are typically configured to satisfy the needs of central office managers and school-based administrators. Data and analysis systems are powerful but complex. On the one hand, they can provide specific diagnostic data and prescriptive strategies to use with students, but on the other hand, they require a significant commitment by educators to learning and using the system in order for it to yield intelligible next steps. The Learning Management System, or LMS, is more closely aligned to instructional needs than the SIS, which is typically viewed as a transactional system by teachers, resulting in a lack of ownership at the classroom level. So we have platforms to meet these individual needs in education. Tools for managing the information of students, managing the content delivery, and for analyzing performance data. But because they are disparate, we end up Frankensteining them together, and we all know how that story ends up. So we spend tireless hours of programming time and talent trying to integrate these systems ourselves, but the moment one provider changes something in their code, we have to start all over again. As such, we suggest that we need to move away from this monolithic idea of an LMS or an SIS or a DnA system and embrace a concept being referred to in some circles as the Instructional Management System, or the IMS. We, along with researchers such as Mr. Bill Rust, an analyst for Gartner, and Dr. Kelly Calhoun, former Assistant Superintendent of Santa Clara County Office of Education, believe that the instructional management systems will supplant current SIS, DnA, and LMS solutions in the next 5 years. They'll include the features and functions of all three platforms and facilitate substantial changes in the teaching and learning environment. As learning management systems have evolved, student information systems have added new functionality to remain competitive, including analytics, content and curriculum management, causing leaders to reassess the role of their systems. Before we get to our recommendations, let's take a look at an analysis of current market conditions. The new normal in education is driven by key drivers such as accountability mandates and the realization that educators should make decisions based on information and professional experience rather than depend solely on intuition or traditional responses. Today, local school agencies deploy SISs and DnA platforms for collecting, managing, and reporting, including submitting data to their respective state education agencies for accountability purposes. As the K-12 data environment becomes increasingly complex, the question becomes how to best manage the tools used by administrators in the office and teachers in the classroom. Learning management systems for digital learning resources and DnA systems for data analysis have become increasingly popular in K-12. Yet the student information system remains the mandatory system of record for core student data. But changes may be reshaping that picture. An LMS is used for the organization and delivery of learning activities as well as for collecting data from the instructional setting. Over the past decade, there has been a clear trend of providing data to teachers on the premise that arming them with information will improve instructional practice and result in improved student outcomes. On the other hand, school administrators and teachers tend to look at the SIS as having transactional requirements, used primarily for attendance and grade reporting. As one research analyst wrote, fundamentally, this has resulted in a feed-the-machine attitude toward the solutions rather than a sense of ownership. That point of view likely stems from the fact that simply having the data doesn't provide teachers with the time, and in some cases the resources, to act on that data. This is especially true where teachers are expected to mine and analyze the data as well as use the information to develop lesson plans and other instructional resources. In any case, SIS, DnA, and LMS providers have modified or developed solutions that are aimed at making data available to the classroom and beyond. The SIS market has seen increased demand for functionality not previously considered typical for these products. More LMS-like functions are finding their way into the SIS and DnA platforms, and though certainly not a substitute for a full LMS, some districts have found enhanced SIS systems sufficient to meet their current needs as they develop more digital learning resources. These systems are becoming larger, more complicated, and more expensive to maintain and update, and leaders are stretched to provide support for more technologies than ever. As a result, many districts are following higher education institutions and turning toward cloud-based or SaaS options. Currently, the SIS, DnA, and LMS market has offered solutions that support the delivery of data and/or resources to the classroom, if not the students and parents, are web-based and accessible through mobile and consumer technologies, and offer some degree of data analysis tools. Typically, districts deploy LMS solutions that are separate from the SIS solutions, which are separate from DnA solutions. Data from any of these systems is ultimately used to populate dashboards or similar reports for consumption in the classroom and often the home. But there's no real consensus on which data is essential for teachers, students, and parents to have other than a general agreement on including formative assessment data. Another characteristic of the current market is the relative dissatisfaction with legacy SIS or LMS solutions that results from the selection and deployment of an SIS or LMS solution that fails to meet the district or state agency expectations or the educators' and students' expectations. So now let's turn our attention to some emerging market trends. Overall, there are competing points of emphasis for the use of data in schools. First, data collection and management for accountability and other reporting requirements are typically provided through the SIS and predominantly used to satisfy central office management and school-based administrator needs. As the education industry adopted the mantra of data-driven decision-making, the emphasis has shifted to data to inform classroom instruction. But the classrooms are, or should be, the domain of the LMS and the DnA. The SIS has been the primary student data solution with nearly universal deployment in school districts or schools, while the LMS and DnA, although not uncommon, is not as widely employed. So based on this reality and some market analysis, we are projecting the death of the SIS, DnA, and LMS as we know it. The idea is that there will be an eventual merger of current SIS, DnA, and LMS functionality into a new, comprehensive instructional management system. It's a new environment in K-12. The LMS, DnA, and SIS will become a single solution that, on the surface, looks and feels like a student-centric LMS with SIS features and functions. In fact, SIS providers are already offering learning management features and functions among the available solution modules, although the solutions are not as full-featured as those provided by LMS vendors. Examples include our own ARIES system that offers ARIES Analytics. It's a system that offers state and local tests with substrand support, gradebook, report card, and transcript integration, attendance percentages and thresholds, as well as an early warning system to mitigate dropout potentials and so on. In evaluating new SISs, we might want to take a look at some of the features now on the screen. Now, there are current IMS providers, one of which includes FLIPSWITCH. FLIPSWITCH is a new company. They offer an integrated SIS and LMS system. You'll notice the features on the screen. On the SIS side, they provide student dashboards, a transcripting tool, student note-taking system, an automated graduation plan system, analytics tools, information about guardians and family dynamics, lockout options, and so forth. You'll also notice on the LMS side, they provide things like a syllabus, discussion boards and message centers, combined content pages, and so forth. FLIPSWITCH also provides a parent-student portal, which allows parents to view student attendance, view their schedules and grades, and view progress towards graduation. They also offer actual courses through a sister company named StrongMind, which provides 135 standards-aligned courses in the secondary setting, mostly geared towards credit recovery, advanced placement, and elective-based content. However, upon analysis of the FLIPSWITCH suite, we noticed that we couldn't find things like staff demographics, real-time data updates, discipline reporting. We couldn't find things like integrated media recorders or mastery outcomes-based grading system or customizable navigation, and a slew of other features that we could find in other best-of-breed systems. Another current IMS provider is Follett's Aspen system. It not only proffers an integrated SIS and LMS, but also features the integration of asset, library, and textbook management too. EduPoint Synergy also offers a powerful platform that includes a CalPADS compliant SIS, online registration system, an assessment system with item banks, a fully loaded learning management system, a special education system that includes IEP records and other reporting features, a parent and student portal, and an amazing mobile platform for most of those features. So here's our big so what. The bottom line is that we need to look for student data solutions that promote classroom ownership of information by providing actionable data to students and teachers. Further, we need to drive the market by insisting that SIS, LMS, DnA solutions are, at the very least, tightly integrated with each other and other instructional resources, and we have to ensure that data solutions include analysis and prescriptive guidance for individual learners. We need to examine potential solutions for features and functions, not for familiar labels such as content management system or curriculum management system. Moreover, we need to map out our student data system needs in detail and verify what portion of those can be consolidated within our current student information system offerings versus linkages to other best-of-breed solutions. Finally, we need to evaluate our current SIS, DnA, and LMS solutions to ensure we're taking advantage of all current functionality that meet our needs, or to determine whether functionality can or should be captured elsewhere. In conclusion, we feel that the emerging instructional management systems will lead the way in the disruption of the industrial age education model. The use of emerging instructional management systems will enable forward-thinking school organizations to transform education by personalizing instruction.